Well, hi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me here in my shop. It's August 18th and the weather has really changed here. It's now very cool outside, even though the sun is shining brightly. It's very cool, so maybe the heat wave's over. Maybe it's over for the summer. Probably not. So I've got some decisions to make around this radio and how to go forward with it. Now I've got the tuner, as you can see, just sitting out here on my bench in pieces. There's advantages to having it out, but the big disadvantage is obviously you can't operate the radio. I had considered some kind of temporary connection of all this back into the radio in such a way that I could still mess around with this. Rather than bolt it right in, I would just kind of, I don't know, solder up the wires. A little bit of mixed feelings about that, doing that. Another interesting thing that's popped into my head, and obviously popped into other heads too, is, well, what if I use a external local oscillator? I guess that would not be a local oscillator then, would it? What if I use an external oscillator and try to make the radio work? And it's another step towards proving that the problem is the oscillator and the radio doesn't work. You know, that's an interesting thing to try. It'd be lots of fun. But it won't actually move things forward at all, I don't think. So the other thing I thought about is, well, I've had this box out and been focused on it, and that's really what's happened. I've really focused on this box and stopped thinking about external factors that could also influence the operation of the local oscillator here. And the first thought I had was, well, there can't. I mean, it's all in the box. Isn't it all in the box? No, it's not all in the box. Part of the oscillator circuit is taking place in the first IF transformer here, outside the box with some wires running up to it. So what that means is, if there are some external elements, maybe only one really, this transformer I just pointed at, which might be responsible for the local oscillator not oscillating. Now that's really kind of super likely in a way, because this is not the original transformer here. This is a replacement I put in. It's one of these, and NOS, it's still in the bag. A genuine part, but not really for this radio. I think it's kind of like a say a standard sort of part, but there could be some variations between, you know, the inside of the transformer I installed, and this is the original one that I took out. And just talking about this for a moment, in here is a well, that sure looks like a metal slug there. I thought there was a single carbon slug in here. It was a slug in here I could not move. It really looks like metal. There's only one slug. Did I? Well, just a second while I try to remember. Yeah, fat chance of remembering. Did I take a slug out of there? I did. Here it is. Here. No, that's not a. Is that a slug from inside there? I can't remember. Can't remember. This does not look like the kind of slug you would find in one of these things. No, it's going to fall right through. This is more likely an Allen. An Allen. Wow. Okay, so my memory of this is different than what I'm finding on the bench here. But I remember there being a carbon slug in here, and I remember pulling out the screwdriver and looking at it and seeing the carbon bits or ferrite bits on it. Okay, well, so much for my memory. I don't remember exactly what the story was here, other than it didn't work. So this has capacitors built into it. Can't really see them, but they're in there. And the one I put in also has capacitors built into it. This was the circuit diagram from the one I put in. You can see the capacitor right there. These transformers are designed for use in either input or output stages. For use in either input or output stages. I don't even know what that means. And it lists what the different terminals are, how they're supposed to connect. One element of this, you would think, you know, you can wind one winding this way, and then you can wind the other winding the same way, or you could wind it the other way. You could flip it around. There's various variations that can be done in this simple thing, and I wonder if there is a variation from the original one, and I'm not aware of it. It's not very likely. I don't think these things. I think the chances of these being nearly identical is very good, really. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to determine the likelihood that the problem exists in that transformer, and the possibility that you're never going to make it work with that transformer there. There's a possibility of that. The local oscillator is dependent upon not only the plate circuit that this is in, two plate circuit, also the screen circuit. Why don't we just take a look at the schematic here for just a minute. Okay, so this is the box here, and let me just well, okay, so here's my conclusion. There's nothing more I can do with the box while it's out of the radio. I've done everything I could do within reason at this point. Trying to hook up the box. Let me go back to the video camera here. Hooking up the box in some weird way may cause weird things, and so that may not be helpful at all. So I think I should reinstall this back in the radio properly, as if it's not going to come out again, and then look at ways to prove that the problem lies in this transformer. That's kind of the best way I can go right now. Focus on this transformer. And is it responsible for the oscillator not operating? A couple of you mentioned 1R5s as possible replacements for the 1L6. I've already done two 1L6s, both of which test okay in the tube tester, and one of which is operating another radio properly, and got nothing out of it. So I'm a little reticent to even try one of these. I don't know for sure that this is a good tube. These tubes are so rare that when I get one, very, very seldom, when I do, I don't even put it in the tester. I won't test it till I need to. So I'm going to put these back here. Yeah, I think the next logical step, put this back in, and then just try to figure something out with the with that transformer. Doesn't sound very hopeful, does it? Or do I? I'm sure this kind of thing never happens to you, but I got it partially together here and then realized, oh, I didn't put the retaining spring in for the tumbler, for the turret. So, got to come out again. And now would be a good time to go for a coffee. Don't you say? What'd you say, Bert? He doesn't say anything. Okay, I'm going to make you watch me put this back in one time. This is a hairy process for sure. Okay. First I have to get this through that hole. That's the first. Okay. Now we have to get the back end to clear. Gets a little easier each time I do this, of course. That gets a little easier. It's holding it here. It's like this plastic piece on the inside is interfering right here. Plastic grommet. So if I get this down so it'll pop into the hole here, then I get a little more, yeah, get a little more clearance that way. There we go. There we are. Okay. There you are. Well, that wasn't quite as bad as. It gets a little easier each time, of course. You start to realize, you know, where the pinch points are and stuff like that, and what to look for. As with anything. Okay, well, I'll finish putting it in. I'll solder up the wires, and we'll give the radio a test before we do anything more. So I'm in the process of just reattaching the wires in here, and I have photographs to make sure I get it right. While I was doing that, I was making an attachment right here. Look at that capacitor. That capacitor is connected to one of the wires coming out of here. It's the AVC supply wire. It's actually supplying AVC voltage in. That guy. And what about this guy sitting here? Maybe I should get rid of these two guys next. Once I get this back in and hooked up, and we play the radio, see what's happening, then I can go after these two capacitors. It's a bit of a long shot that they would influence the operation of the oscillator, but there they are, and they got to go sooner or later anyway. So, okay, I'll continue soldering those wires. Yes, guess who's here? Yes, there he is. He's late. Come on, easy does it. He's late for the game here. He's getting more aggressive every time he comes up here. Fiddles with the microphone. Hey, Bert, stop. Okay, you know, there. You need that done? I'll do it myself. Oh my gosh. If you notice, whoa. Yeah, you're busy looking at the cat. I almost knocked this radio right over. There he goes. Now he's leaving. Come on, Bert. You gotta scram. I'm right at a key point here. You see this? You see this? Hey, Bert, look at this thing. Come on. You better go check that out. Oh, you goof. No, going back to the microphone. Okay, you gotta come down. Come on. I don't want to pull you down from up there. Come on. Down. Let's go. Let's go. Never mind that. Keep moving. No, never mind that. Come on. Come on, a little further. Just a little further I can get you. Oh my gosh, this is just craziness here. Okay, you want to jump down here? There, look, I'll clear a space. Down here. Jump down there. Yeah, good cat. Well, I really can't continue with him up there because I'm a little nervous when he's up there. No, don't go back that way. No, that's wrong. Let me see if I can get all the way over here. Okay, cat elevator coming. Flying cat. Flying through the shop. There he goes. Okay, you're down and you're out. See ya. Goodbye. Okay, he's out. Get back to what we were doing here. So I've got the speaker connected. The radio's not plugged in. Now it is. Volume is down. So So I do not have the antenna booster here. Let's give it a shot anyway. See what we get. It just makes that same hum again. I think we can be reassured I got everything back together. One last chance here. Just peeking at the wires. Peeking at the other wires. Okie doke. Okay, we'll get the volume there. Here we go. Looks like you got bad speaker wire connection. Maybe I got a bad clip lead. It's buzzing. About the same. Yeah, must be a bad clip lead here. So I'm not moving and it's kind of pulsating. I'm not moving at all. Who knows? Okay. Tune the radio a bit. Not very reassuring. It's plugged in. What band? Oh, what band are we on? I never even paid attention. I stuck the thing in and just stuck the turret in. Oh, well, we're almost on the right band, aren't we? Here or one more. Let's give it one more here. I've forgotten once again where exactly it should be. Volume down. Turning this guy here. They all sound the same. Oh. Quickly fell right off. Gonna have to bring in the antenna booster. Okay, I'm gonna go get that together. Okay, let's see what happens. So this is now boosted. And I don't know what band I'm on. Doesn't make any difference at all. Louis on that. Let's go this way. There we are. Interesting to me, the coil appears to be here. And then we have this very large, what I imagine is a ferrite rod. And you'd think laying this up against the coil would be the strongest, but in fact laying it up here. Interesting stuff, which is meaningless. Okay, so radio's working. Can we get a station? So noise will come through without a local oscillator. And it probably won't vary as I tune. Oh. Hey, I fixed it. This can only work if the local oscillator is oscillating. Volume's a little low, but that can be other factors. The pointer's roughly in the right place. There's nothing wrong with this radio. What have I been doing here? It's just so incredibly weak. Let's put a direct connection, because I now know the whip antenna. I'm sorry. The wow, that really got loud.
Donc, si on peut, comme ça.
Wow.
Des replis traditionnels, qu'on veut que les hommes gardent les postes de pouvoir, restent.
What happened? It's gotten much more sensitive suddenly. Or seems to have.
C'est ça, le virage à droite. Mais donc, qu'est-ce qu'il faut qu'on fasse, nous, comme femmes et comme hommes?
Sounds pretty good, actually, doesn't it?
Est-ce que c'est vraiment ça qu'on veut? On veut que la femme soit l'égale de l'homme et prenne et les mêmes choix, la même liberté de pouvoir faire partie de sa société. Je fais l'avocate du diable.
Well, obviously, you need one of these. Wow. Okay, that's really reassuring. Stone silent now, though. Let's turn it right up. If you can get a strong enough signal to some point in the radio, it just takes off. You're overwhelming the weakness by using this. If the weakness wasn't there, whatever it is, this thing would be going like crazy. It's going to move the antenna connection right. Let's get a volume check a little lower too. The loudest.
On attend toujours des mouvements d'hommes de masse, massivement. Là. Non, mais au moins, là, j'étais. Mais il est appuyé au centre. Ce son, comme défini comme.
Okay.
Il y a à peu près quoi, 40% de.
Calibrated. Now we're going to stick this so it's basically right into the grid of the 1U4. I can hear it very, very, very faintly. Is it a tuning thing now? This is the antenna screw, yep. Hooking it up properly. You know, this is now running with an external antenna. The external antenna I have is fairly powerful. It's a mini whip antenna, so it's a strong signal coming in here, but not out of the range of a antenna. A ordinary wire antenna, well done up high, would produce a similar signal level. This radio is behaving normally when attached there. Try the other loop antenna, Jeff. The other loop antenna. Okay. What I'm starting to say is the problem is the antenna. Hey, where'd it go? Where did it go? What happened? What happened? I just made a little bang here. Ooh. Not grounded. Floating now. Grounding it. So when the shield touches the chassis, the oscillation stops. Are you going to tell me it's the shield? contact? That's what this has been? All this time? Huh. Huh. Really? To be very careful with these tubes, because if the heater disconnects, there's a chance you damage the other tubes. Well, I don't know what's going on in here, whether I'm disconnecting the heater or not. With a lot of tubes, when you disconnect the heater doing something like that, the tube continues operating for a few seconds and slowly fades out as the heater goes down. These ones are fast. They heat up and cool down fast, so you don't quite get that feel. So I'm not sure whether I was breaking the heater, which is what could have been going on there. Plus, I think in the schematic we'd see that most of the heaters, including that one, has a resistor across it. So that's the 1L6, and it's got a resistor across the heater. Which means if you were to pull this out, and I don't think you should, because there's lots of warnings about these radios of pulling them out, but there still is a continuous path through this resistor. So you'd end up swallowing, let's think about this, you'd swallow a lot more voltage on this, on here. You drop the voltage all the way along, they'd probably disturb it. I don't know exactly what would happen, but there certainly are strong warnings about pulling a tube out while the radio's operating. Or operating the radio with one tube out. It doesn't actually say that. What it actually says is, there's a warning right on it somewhere. I guess it's on the back. Do not pull the tube out while the set is operating. That's a little different than operating the set without a tube in. A little bit different. Well, is that what I've been chasing all this time? Some kind of pin contact thing? Where'd the radio go? I turned it down, right? Yeah. So checking volume now with the antenna connected here. Jeepers scrapers. Really? This is what I've been chasing. Where'd you go, radio? I was fiddling around with this. There's no reason for you to stop now. Don't stop now. Don't stop now. Where'd you go, man? Oh, it's there. It's not here. This is going to be loud if it comes in. Oh, hear that click? I don't like this. What happened here? Oh! Oh, I'm being called. Gotta run. Okay, big emergency in the house. Our outdoor cat, Shadow, showed up with a chipmunk in its mouth. Happens all the time, and this is really strange. If it's a mouse, it's a goner. If it's a chipmunk, the cat appears to want to play with it, and it brings it up on our deck or somewhere like that to play with it. And the reason I can say this is I've seen this over and over and over now. Cat shows up, dead looking chipmunk in its mouth, but it's not dead. We scold the cat, it drops the chipmunk, and the chipmunk, instead of running away like a panicked animal, you know, having a near-death experience, it'll kind of hang around. It won't run all the way. It clearly doesn't perceive that there's something seriously bad going on. And I've seen chipmunks aggressively play with our cat. it's suicidal. I mean, a few of them do lose their lives doing that stuff. But so I really kind of wondered about this for quite a while. What is going on between cats and chipmunks? So, okay. Let's see. I just got distracted terribly. So, 2-pin contact. You know, these thoughts went through my head at one point, but I just dismissed it as not a likely thing. 2-pin contact. So let's start by, we'll look in here and just see if there's something wrong, which I highly doubt there's anything wrong with the socket. We need to take a look at it first. A little more light. Okay, let me steady this. So I think those are called clamshell style pin grips, and they all look fine and they're open, but I don't think they're. I mean, I can tell when I put the tube in, it's getting gripped quite firmly by them. I don't see anything wrong there at all. Nothing wrong there at all. Now, what about the tube itself? What would you expect to find here? So, my experience with tubes is the pins are always good, but from time to time, what I do is I wiggle these things in the sockets, and that'll refresh the contact. So you see a little bit of bluing on the metal there. But any chance that's not conductive, the entire surface? Let's take a look. Let's find out. Do a little experiment here. Are all those... Ooh, I already set up a pretty good trip hazard there. Okay, fix that up. Left something in the middle of the floor right behind me, so if I took 2 steps back, I'd be taking 5 steps back. Okay, so that's kind of a stupid test, but let's do it anyway. Why not? If I'm going to put this on the diode setting here, I think we get a little tone. So what I would expect is I'm just going to run these up and down on the pins here. What I would expect is a pretty unbroken sound. I can put a little more weight on that. There. For what it's worth. But just even a light touch, we should hear it. Let's find out. First test. Yeah, here we go. So I'm trying to touch it as lightly as possible. Try another one. I mean, these are wonderfully conductive. I'm touching there. Oh, I think my other contact was lost. Yeah, that's what that was. So yeah, no surprise. Pins are great. Pins are great. Now, this has gone in and out of the socket a few times, so you'd think the socket's been cleaned up to some degree too. I do have contact cleaners here of various sorts. And I think what I'm going to use is this. I'm going to spray a little of this in there. I'm tempted to use WD-40, but I've got this stuff. Removes oxidation. Yeah, I don't know how it does that. I don't think they're going to reveal what's in here. Unlimited uses. Wow, let's make a product with unlimited uses. You could even throw the can at, throw the can at people you don't like. Lots of different uses. Contains D series D100L. Okay. Odorless mineral spirits. And difluorophane. If on skin, wash with soap. If swallowed, immediately call a poison control doctor or physician or center. Do not induce vomiting. Never give anything. Okay, I'm gonna eat this stuff. So we're gonna spray a little right in here. That's more than a little. A little hard to spray it right in. Oh yeah, there's liquid everywhere here. I'm gonna put this guy in. I just retuned the radio by accident. She's in. There's no reason why this should have been doing this. Okay. Will it work? Unfortunately, I retuned the radio, so I'm not kind of. Let's just move this here. But it does appear as if the loop antenna in here is not working either. And you know, when you have a situation with one of these things where there's two problems, not just one, two, maybe even more, it becomes real difficult to sort anything out because nothing's going to make that much sense. Okay. That's my excuse for having, you know, for reaching video number what? 2061 on this radio? Okay, volume down. Antenna's connected. Radio's tuned off. Power's on. We've got 113 volts on the plug. Volume up. Just coincidentally tuned to another station. Volume level, very good. Nothing wrong with this radio, Joe. What have you been doing all this time? So there's a series of standard things that can be done to a radio when you first get it, just automatically. And you know, like an example would be testing all the tubes. We just do that automatically, no matter what. Another one is cleaning all the tube sockets. Duh. but I know I'm stupid. I wouldn't want to wash away problems and then never know they were there. I would much rather encounter the problem and work my way through it to find out what it was. And why? Stupid. That's why. Okay, don't get too excited now. But I think what I found is the problem with the local oscillator was bad tube contact all this time. And it could have been a hit and miss thing previously, causing some confusion in the testing I was doing. But we're good at this point. So what I'm going to do is stop. The next step, considering it's working, next step, replace a few of those capacitors in the back, those molded ones, just goodbye to those. And then it's alignment. Before the alignment, I have to put all these crazy strings back on. So I might even want to do that next. Just get the strings back on. It would depend if I think I'm going to take this thing out again. So maybe I should delay the strings until I'm real sure of things. It's pretty hard. You cannot align a radio without the strings on. But I can certainly do the capacitors. Okay, that's the plan. I'm done going outside to enjoy a beautiful day and get out of my shop. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're getting a kick out of this. The one thing you can learn from me, persistence. See ya.